there's this silent truth behind all things. It's this silent intelligence that it doesn't shout, it doesn't impose, but it allows just everything to be. And it's this silence that gives rise to the infinite diversity of life. Each form, each being, each movement, it's a ripple in this stillness that never leaves its source. Sri Sri Anandamurti called every apparent form in this universe a unit expression. So it's this unique and distinct wave of the infinite ocean itself. From the spin of an atom, the song of a bird, the pulse of a newborn, to the orbit of our galaxies, right? They're all unit expressions, fragments of the whole vibrating within and as the totality itself. Even this cosmos is an aspect, an expression of this infinite. And you are one such unit expression, not separate, not divided, but a point of individualized attention within the existence itself. And this simple recognition begins to change everything within this psychological, physical, psycho-physical, and psycho-spiritual realm. And it's just that we forget. We forget that the self we identify with, like the name, the form, the body, the past, expectations of the future, it's not the whole story. It's just the surface of an ocean that's so vast and so luminous and so profoundly sacred that words, they fail before it. All of these words, even like I'm saying, they're just pointers. They're all pointers, right? But through direct experience, through the refinement of attention, through concentration, through the spiritual practice, this deeper identity begins to reveal itself. It's always been there. So what you once thought of as you, the person, the story, the narrative, the roles, it becomes transparent. You start to feel, I'd say, not only your own heartbeat, but the heartbeat of the earth, the suffering of someone else. It's no longer someone else's problems. It's also yours. Not in a way which crosses boundaries, or not in a way which anticipates or expects you to feel these things, but because it's all happening inside what you are. So this is what we call the spiritual journey. It's not an escape. It's not a rejection of life. It's a return to the real. And I don't mean this in a dogmatic manner at all. It's to what has always been here. It's a direct experience. So the human unit expression is unique because it has the potential to consciously expand its sense of self. So Sri Sri Anandamurti would say that our dharma as a species is to have a clearly reflected consciousness. We can clearly reflect upon ourselves as this luminous, infinite self. And so through refinement, through love, through meditation, through contemplation, a person can begin to experience themselves not just as a separate creature struggling to survive, but as life itself, existence itself, manifesting through this form, this time, and this place. So this expansion, it happens in layers. At first, you may feel that you are your body. Then maybe you include your family and your friends, your community, then ecosystems, then the earth, then the solar system, the galaxy, the entire cosmos. And then we can go beyond that, which also means to go beyond the mind into something infinite. And we have to find that personally. It's a subjective process. This is why it's not a dogmatic approach. It's a personal endeavor. And then something else begins here. There's a sacred falling away, dissolving, loosening. It's kind of strange, and this kind of holy disorientation, because the cosmos itself is still just another unit expression, a huge, vast one, right? But it's not the final one. Even the cosmos exists within something larger, something beyond time, beyond space, beyond imagination, beyond mind. It's the unknown infinite. And rather than feeling any kind of fear, we develop this sacred, divine, blissful tether, right? And this is kind of the true home of every unit expression. It's kind of, it could say it's like the great womb of all being. So when the individual begins to open to that, something immense changes in the psyche, in the mind, in the very structure of the identity itself. It has to, because you're seeing yourself as something other than the narrative, right? The core of what you think you are is replaced with the core that is actually there, right? You start to see that the constricted self, the small self that feels separate, anxious, defensive, it's a fiction. It's a kind of forgetting. It's a useful illusion that helped you function in the world, but it's not your final truth, and it's not even close to it, right? But it's a pathway for you to get to that final truth, absolutely. So at this point in our evolution as a species, where we are psychologically, so this constricted sense of self, it creates conflict. It does so because it creates division. It sees itself as separate. And if it sees itself as separate, it's divided inherently, right? Within its perspective. It's eluding itself from the truth of what it really is, which is an interconnected part of the whole. Actually, it is the whole. So it sees the world as other. It has to protect itself, defend itself, compete with others, fear loss, grasp at love. It's full of confusion. It's full of tension. And even within this limited self, there is love, though. But if we're going to speak honestly about it, that love, though it is beautiful, it's still a kind of self-serving love. It loves that which reinforces its limited self. It seeks security, comfort, validation. It attaches. It fears loss. It suffers. And this self-serving love, it's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's part of the journey, but it's not the final expression of love. This true love is a sense of neutrality, not indifference, not indifference. It's a love that holds galaxies together, right? It arises when the limited self dissolves, when no one remains to claim it. It's love for no reason, love without conditions, love without expectation of love with no conditions. It's love that burns with the light of the infinite itself. So how does this expansion happen? How does one move from this limited sense of self to the limitless? Mantra meditation is one of the most potent and ancient tools for this kind of transformation here. Specifically the mantra Baba Nam Kevalam. Baba Nam Kevalam. It means only the name of the beloved, or love is all there is. It acts as a bridge between the finite and the infinite. Baba Nam Kevalam. Though this mantra, it's not just a phrase, it's a vibrational gateway. Okay, we can see that even repeat negative words to yourself continually. That's a vibrational gateway as well into something that you don't want to be involved in. So this Baba Nam Kevalam, love is all there is. When it's repeated sincerely with the heart, not just with the tongue. It begins to redirect the wandering mind, which is usually tethered to objects, stories, narratives, problems, concerns, confusion, tension, tactics, right? And it aims instead toward the infinite. And we can repeat this silently. When we're breathing in through our nose, we'd say in our mind, Baba Nam. And as we're breathing out, Kevalam, in the mind. And do this as much as possible. It redirects the mind. And the mind is shaped by where it places its attention. So if it clings to pain, it becomes pain. If it obsesses over ego, it becomes egoistic. But when the mind is repeatedly drawn toward the infinite, even if that infinite can't be grasped or known, something quite magical begins here. It's the mind begins to dissolve. The self-concept starts to unravel. Not in a violent way, but in this kind of sacred, compassionate, intelligent, organic way. The mind becomes subtle, clear, reflective, spacious. This doesn't mean that problems and concerns don't arise. It means that you're able to see them with clarity as they arise in real time. You say, oh, that's how this mind is functioning due to this conditioning, due to the conditioning of the experiences which have gone on in this unit expression's life. It's very limited. I can see why they're happening. I don't have to give into that conditioning. I can allow it to arise and watch it go, like clouds in the sky. So the mantra doesn't fill the mind with thoughts here. It just gently empties it, and in that space the infinite can begin to shine clearly, brightly. And this Baba Nam Kevalam, it's not about belief. You don't have to believe in anything. It's just about alignment. It's about tuning the subtle instrument of the human mind to the frequency of the absolute. And when I say this, tuning to a frequency, I don't mean anything mystical. It's not at all. It's very practical, right? So this tuning, the unit expression, the individual expression, the human being, you, me, begin to vibrate in harmony with the infinite, because the mind is focused on the infinite. Keep the mind focused on it. Bring your attention back to it over and over and over and over until it becomes habit. Then it becomes behavior. It just becomes your natural expression. It's not a metaphor. It's a living transformation. The mind literally reorganizes. Identity reorganizes. The energy of the body, the flow of the thoughts, the nature of emotions. It shifts. It has to shift because your attention is placed on the limitless. You don't feel like a wave struggling against other waves anymore. You're just the ocean, and everything is the ocean, and it's all rising and falling as one entity, and you are that. You're no longer the wave rising and falling. You see yourself and all others, all other unit expressions, as one infinite expression. You see the cosmos as an aspect of the infinite expression. And when this is experienced, even just briefly, it leaves an imprint. It's a sacred wound of remembrance. You begin to know, not just think, and you not just believe either. You know that you are not separate from anything. You are the infinite itself. You are the infinite itself. And the psychological impact of this is enormous. You don't crave power any longer because you are power. There's nothing to prove. You no longer need to dominate others because you are already whole. You don't fear death because you were never born. As an individual unit expression, we can say, yes, there was a place and time of birth, and we begin measuring from that point forward in terms of years, right? But beyond that, expanding beyond that, you simply are. You're radiant. You're still. You are alive. You are existence. And this I find is one of the true purposes of spiritual practice. Not in a dogmatic manner. I have to keep saying this. Not to become better at being a person. No. Right? But to realize that you were never just a person. Trying to improve upon the conditioning within the mind is just adding more conditioning. We have to move beyond this self-help notion. Okay? Beyond these mental constructs, mental gymnastics, and find or uncover that place of infinite stillness that we all have, because we all are within existence. What does that mean? It means you are a living expression of that which has no name, a spark of the eternal, a song sung by the timeless one into the halls of this cosmos, space and time. And through sincere practice, through meditation, through mantra, through surrender, that spark returns to the fire. Okay? That drop returns to the ocean. That it disappears into that great I am of the cosmos, and then beyond it dissolves into the nameless. So this is the journey of Tantra. It's the hidden truth within every breath, every star, every moment. And this is what you are. Baba Nam Kevalam.